Hello everyone, this is for Algebra 2 for the law of sines. Sorry about the bell there. What the law of sine does for you is it lets you solve non-right triangles. Remember, SOHCAHTOA only works on right triangles because it relies on having a hypotenuse. In non-right triangles, you don't have a hypotenuse, so you have to use the law of sines. Now with that said, law of sines will work on any kind of triangle, but regular old SOHCAHTOA will only work on right triangle. All right. You have to know a pair of information, and what I mean by a pair is you need to know an angle and its side. An angle and its side, an angle and its side in order to do it. And I'll explain more about that as we go. And remember, if it's a non-right triangle, the Pythagorean theorem won't work. So you guys can't do a squared plus b squared plus, equals, c squared. Let me get rid of that. Equals c squared. Pythagorean theorem won't work if it's a non-right triangle. All right. So what you're trying to find are the missing pieces. Straight out of the gate, notice that you guys have two angles. If you know two angles, all the angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So you guys just cut these off of 180. So go 180 minus 28.7 minus the 102.3. And if you do that, I believe you come up with 49 degrees. So right away, you know angle A is 49 degrees. So go set up the law of sines. So that's the sine of A, angle A, over side A, which you don't know, equals sine of B, 28, not 82, 28.7 degrees, over side B, which is 27.4, equals sine C, which is 102.3, over side C. It doesn't matter if you find A or C first. It won't matter. How about I go for A first? If you guys had, say, 3 over x is equal to 5 over 7, all you would do is cross multiply. You get 5x is equal to 21. Then you divide by 5, and you get what x is worth. This is no different. I'm going to ignore this one, as if it's not, this is the simple proportion here that I'm setting up. You're not trying to solve for A and C at the same time. So I'm going to cross multiply here. So I have A sine 28.7 equals 27.4 times the sine of 49. This is A times it. I'm looking to, just like here, it was 5 times x. This is A times this number. This is just a number. I want to divide it out because it's held by multiplication. So I have the sine of 28.7 degrees is what I'm dividing by. This cancels out, and I have A is equal to, so you just grab your calculator and you type it in. So that will be 27.4 times the sine of 49 divided by sine of 28.7. All right, and you end up with A is about 63.29. Okay, now I got to find side C. Use this relationship, this proportion right here. Cross multiply. So you have, because I can do it here, C times the sine of 28.7 equals 27.4 times the sine of 102.3. Whoops, 102.3, ran out of room. Okay, I need to divide this out, so I'm going to divide out the sine of 28.7. Type it in your calculator, and you get C is about, let's see, 27.4 sine 102.3 divided by the sine of 28.7. And you get, oh, hold on. I think my calculator was in radians all along. Snapdragon. Okay. Well, because my calculator was set in radians, I guess I can just recover it by saying, okay guys, I need to go back and retype this in because it thought I was typing in radians. So I need to go back. I apologize, but I guess even though I'm embarrassed that that happened, it just illustrates that you guys need to watch out for is your calculator in degrees or radians. So let me go back. I believe now C, whoops, let me get this, is 55.75. And let me type this one in, 27.4 sine 49 divided by sine of 28.7. And I get this a little better, 43.06. Okay? Whew. All right. Let's try the next one. Find the missing pieces. So set up what you got. Sine of 42 degrees over 22. And earlier I said you need to have a pairing. This is what I mean. You need to have an angle in its side. Otherwise you can't do solving a proportion. Sine of B over side B equals sine C over C. Okay, once I find angle B, then I can get angle C by subtracting them off of 180, just like I did here. All right, so the first thing I got to do is find angle B. Cross multiply, and I have 22 sine of B is equal to 12 sine 42. I want to solve for B. This is held by multiplication, so go ahead and divide out the 22. No need to reduce it. The calculator will handle that for you. Sine of B is equal to 12 sine 42, so I think it's okay to leave it unreduced because it's not your final answer. If it was your final answer, I'd say go ahead and reduce it. Now, I need to get rid of sine. If you remember, what you have to do to both sides then is take the inverse sine. So I have to take the inverse sine of both sides. So B is equal to inverse sine of that stuff. So inverse sine 12 sine 42, close the sine, divide by 22, and I get 21.41 degrees. 21.41 degrees. Don't forget the degree symbols. Now, I know two angles, so I can cut them off of 180, minus 42, minus 21.41 degrees. It's going to give us 180 minus 42 minus, let's see, 116.59 degrees. Okay, so now I can go back and fill in C. And I got 116.59 degrees. And now I can take this, so this one, and this one, and cross multiply. C sine 42 equals 22 sine 116.59. I want to solve for C, so I have to divide by the sine of 42. So C is equal to, I just type it in now, 22 sine 116.59, close it, divide, open it, sine of 42, and I get 29.40 degrees. Okay, do I need the zero? Not really. I just took everything else to the nearest hundredth, so there you go. Okay, so that's all the missing pieces. All right. Let's see. So you have to know a complete pair. And what I was talking about was if I start to fill it out, sine of A over 3 is equal to sine of 45 over little b equals sine of big C over 12. No matter which pairing I use to cross multiply, I'm always going to have two unknowns. If I use this pairing, I have angle A and side B that I don't know. If I do these two, I have side B and angle C I don't know. If I use these two, then I have angle A and angle C. This is actually going to be a law of cosine problem, which we'll do tomorrow or in the next video. And so that's what I mean by you have to know one complete pair. Initially, when you set this one up, you might think you don't have a complete pair, but I need to make sure you guys remember what to do. Whoops, 98 over little b is equal sine C over 22. If you guys notice that you have two angles, you can cut them off of 180. Minus 43 is supposed to be a 4, minus 98. will give you angle C. So you actually do have a pairing. So when you first look at this, you go, I don't know an angle and a sine. I don't know an angle and a sine. And you might say, I can't do it. But remember, you can find angle C, so you know an angle and a sine. That's it. Thanks for your time.